Hello, Gemini, and welcome to your November 2021 reading. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising signs for a more well-rounded perspective. And if you'd like something that is specific to you and your current situation, be sure to check out the description box below for links to my websites. All right, let's go ahead and begin. We are leaving the month of November with the energy of the Fool card, and I feel this is coming in strong with not the happy vibes that generally we feel with the Fool, as much as you feel like you have been fooled. But also in the process of that, I feel like you're still trying to work out whether or not you should be upset with this, or if you should be looking at it from the perspective of it being a new opportunity. So it may have presented itself in a way that makes you feel like things were not kosher, things were not with the best intentions or the best presentation at hand. But now that it has taken place and it is already kind of rolled out and unfolded in whatever direction that it's rolling or unfolding, you're wondering if maybe you should just take advantage of this newness, despite whatever it was rooted in, despite whatever it was based on, despite however its beginnings may have not been quite as positive as we usually consider new beginnings. Maybe it's an opportunity for some change that you would not have had otherwise. And so this is contemplation that I feel is coming along. I'm not telling you that this is how you're supposed to see this. I'm not saying that this is how you're supposed to perceive, as much as I feel that this is how a lot of you are considering when you are reflecting on some events that had transpired towards the end of October. And it feels very much from like the middle to the end. So depending on where that falls for you specifically, but it's definitely some events have transpired. They were not really events that you had a hand in, or you were aware of where it was going to go when you did have a hand in it. So, like you were kind of oblivious to parts of whatever this is. And as a result of it, you're kind of taken aback and you're shocked with how things have gone, or you're a bit stunned, or you're just kind of taking a step back and kind of pondering it. But in the process of pondering it, you're beginning to think that maybe it's one of those things where it's the whole, given some lemons, maybe you'll make lemon juice or lemon bars out of it. So that sort of perspective, maybe one of those, it's kind of like, this is the analogy that came to me. So it's kind of like putting in an order for oranges. And whenever you got the order was delivered, you opened it up and you found lemons. So you thought you were on the right track. You did the things that you thought you were supposed to do. The end result wasn't quite what you thought or what was it supposed to be. But you're standing back and thinking about how you should respond to it, and the way you're looking at it and facing it is you're beginning to think, well, instead of me being upset, instead of me leaving a bad review, instead of me calling someone and yelling at someone, and it's not going to change anything unless I put in the effort of sending these back and getting the right order, maybe I can just make something out of the lemons. I could go for some lemonade, or I could go for some lemon bars. So this is the kind of energy that I'm getting with this Fool card. So maybe not have taken the dive with the Fool card energy like most people do, and an active perspective, knowing that you're on a fool's journey, but you recognize that you are kind of on a fool's journey. And you know what? Maybe we could just roll with it. Maybe we can go somewhere with it. Maybe we can make something out of it. Maybe we don't have to be dogged by this. Maybe we can become something out of this, or build something out of this. We're continuing on with the world card. Ooh, can't talk apparently. I feel like this is what's going to be available to you, kind of going from the beginning of the major arcana to the end of the major arcana. So a lot of times, people's perspective as far as the tarot is concerned is that when you are beginning tarot, the Fool, the 0 card, is the beginning, that first step. Whether you're doing it wholeheartedly, or you're just taking it tentatively because you want to learn something or gain something as a result of it, doesn't matter. But the last card in the major arcana is the World card, the Fool's journey, taking that first step, taking that first dive, going for it, whatever the case may be. The point of that is to get to the other end of it, and you get to the World card, when things come together, when comprehension is delivered to you, when enlightenment is available to you, when the journey has come to an end and you have the fruits of your labor sitting for you, however you want to apply or think of that, that's what the world card is presented. And I feel like this is the message, the other half of the message regarding the Fool card. While you're contemplating how you should feel about this Fool journey that you feel that you have sort of stumbled into, whether you were aware of it when you began or not, you're aware of it now. And the not only is the Fool card the validation of your perception that you've had recently regarding the situation, but the World card is being handed to you, and that it's letting you know that if you do what I said, instead of responding with anger and irritation, if you can figure out how you can change that box of lemons into something that you would enjoy, this can actually take you somewhere that you didn't realize was available to you. But you're only going to be able to take this journey is if you continue taking the journey. The only way you're going to get to this destination is if you continue taking the steps in this journey. So your perception of maybe I can make this work for me, maybe I can do something with this that's going to actually make my world better and make all the people, all the haters not happy, which is sometimes what we want, especially if we were fooled into a specific situation. This is kind of an indication that you're not entirely on the wrong track in thinking this perspective. The World card is letting you know that if you run with this perception of, you know what, I'm going to run with this Fool card journey, there is a new world waiting for you. You can be guided into levels that you have not even considered possible that will become open to you as a sole result of being committed to this, whatever it is that you are on now. We are getting into finally the Page of Discs. And I feel like this is just letting you know that you're going to be able to be grounded in a new perspective of yourself. This is coming in through with heavy earth energy, and I'm connecting that earth energy with the sense of being grounded, with the sense of being centered. And so if you take this journey, if you decide, you know what, I'm going to see where this leads, I feel like this is going to open up a new world for me with new opportunities, with new everything that's going to feed and nurture me and my desires, and I'll be able to manifest things as a result of taking these steps to get to this new world, to open up this new world for me. Overall, I feel like if you run with this mentality, if you run with this sentiment, and you continue to move forward step by step on this Fool's journey, if you commit to this, whatever it is, there's an overall sense of new grounding in who you are, how you embrace yourself, how you perceive yourself, and where your roots are going to be going in deep as far as where you are blossoming from, how you define yourself, and how much better you feel rooted and confident in who you are, what you're capable of, and where you can carry yourself. This is all going to come in as a side benefit, as a side effect, so to speak, of being committed to this journey, should you decide to commit to this journey. We have, following this is the Skull of Darkness, blind spots. And I feel that this is just an overall sense that no matter what you choose, there's always going to be moments of displeasure. So it's one of those things where even when things are going well, there's always still going to be those moments in our lives where we're going to be hit with things that aren't perfect, things that aren't smooth, things that aren't coming with ease. There's always going to be stumbling blocks. You can't live life without experiencing something at some point unless you decide to avoid everything. And even then, you're going to experience some sort of less than positive experiences when you're avoiding everything. That still comes with this repercussions. It still creates a ripple effect that you're going to have to deal with, or will eventually impact you in some regard. And I feel like the reason why this is coming through is because even though this is all positive, as far as, you know, grabbing the bull by the horns and diving in, accepting the journey, going forward, committing, have the world open up to you, getting a new sense of self, through it all, it's not like suddenly everything's going to be all sunshine, rainbows, and butterflies, and, you know, a cathedral choir singing behind you. You're still going to have those bumps. And I feel like the reason why this is coming in is because there might be a tendency when these bumps to happen for you to second guess and begin to question and be like, you know what? I noticed that XYZ happened. I noticed that this thing crumbled. I noticed that this thing caused a stumbling block. I noticed that this thing happened and there was a pushback. Those things, those stumbles, pushbacks, crumbling moments are not a sign that you're on the wrong track. Don't always take those signs to be some sort of message that you need to rethink or redo, as much as sometimes it's just the way life is. Sometimes your tire went flat because the tire was old and dry rotted and it needed to be replaced. Sometimes it's not a bigger message. Sometimes it just is because of the flow of life, because of things that are happening. The leaves fall in the fall because it's autumn. It's nature. It's cyclic. And so I feel like the skull of darkness, blind spots message that's coming through is because there's a message that whoever your personal they is, whether it's spirits, ancestors, spirit guides, whatever the case may be for you specifically, I feel like they just want you to know that sometimes when things kind of happen around you that are less than positive or feel like it's a message of holding back or resisting, you need to take a moment to take time to step back and look at it and be very analytical in your reasoning and ask yourself, did the leaves fall off the tree because the tree's dying, or did the leaves fall off the tree because it's fall and it's time for it to rest? Did the go back to the tire for whatever reason that come back, did your tire go flat because there's a nail in it or someone slashed it, or did the tire go flat because it was old and it needed to be replaced? So this is where the blind spot's coming in. I feel like this is an overall message to not take every little hiccup in this journey that you are going to partake in. If you choose to take this full journey and commit to it, anytime you experience a hiccup, don't fall into the trap in thinking that hiccup is actually a message that you're doing something wrong. Recognize that when it is a message for them to hold you back, and recognize when oftentimes it's just the cycle of things that are happening and it is what it is. Deal with the hiccup and then move on. All right, that is all I have for you, Gemini. I hope this all made clear what you needed and it gave you everything you needed and more. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising for a more well-rounded perspective. And if you'd like something that's personal to you and your situation, feel free to check out the description box below for the links to my website. Other than that, I hope you have a beautiful month of November, and we will see you in a future video.